Education is about more than just math and reading. It's where a child's mind gets shaped, where they learn who they are, where they start to see their own limits or their limitless potential. Schools can challenge inequality. Teachers create inclusive spaces. Here, every child feels valued. They use cooperative learning. Students learn to think critically.
But here's where it gets complicated. The hidden curriculum reinforces inequalities. Classroom dynamics send powerful messages. These biases affect how a child sees themselves.
School was never just about grades. It's where kids learn what's expected of them. If we want them to grow up confident, it starts with paying attention to everything school teaches.
Mr. Harrison stands at the front of the classroom, clutching a heavy stack of graded papers. He walks to Sarah's desk and drops her exam face down with a sharp, cold exhale. His eyes are already fixed on the clock, dismissing her. Sarah stares at the harsh red marks, her shoulders slumping as the weight of failure settles in. Seconds later, the mood shifts. Mr. Harrison approaches Leo, placing his paper down with care. He leans in.
Tapping a complex math problem. You solved this using an advanced method, he says, his voice warm with a steady smile. Leo straightens his back, eyes brightening as he picks up his pencil with newfound purpose.
In 1968, researchers Rosenthal and Jacobson conducted a study that changed everything. They told teachers that certain randomly chosen students were academic bloomers destined for success. These students had no prior advantage, yet the results were undeniable. Those identified as bloomers achieved significantly higher scores. Teachers unconsciously shifted their behavior, providing more complex problems, offering detailed feedback, and waiting longer for them to answer. The Pygmalion effect is a self-fulfilling prophecy. When a teacher believes in a student,
that student begins to believe in themselves. Higher expectations lead to higher achievement.
It is not just about the curriculum. It is about the power of belief.
We must address the invisible barriers students face. Teacher expectations are often influenced by unconscious bias. This significantly impacts the support those students receive.
High expectations are an act of love. They create a stimulating environment where students feel seen and the unshakable confidence to chase their biggest dream.
To reach a student, you must know their roots, learn about their families, read their books, and make home visit, valuing their home culture while helping them navigate new worlds. Code switching is a navigational tool. It helps students understand that different environments have different communication norms, like a professional workplace versus a family dinner. It's about empowerment. It gives students the keys to different rooms without ever asking them to leave their own home behind.
They call it standardized, a level playing field. But the standard doesn't account for the resources that pave the way to the finish line. Brilliance doesn't always fit into a circle. The gap isn't just in the score, it's in the belief of what they are capable of becoming.
The hidden curriculum is often a silent conveyor of society deliberately for transformation.
Through cooperative learning, students learn that their part in erecting a more equal society starts with how they work together today.
If the structure doesn't fit everyone, we don't just move, we rebuild the structure. Serious discussions on social issues allow students to find their voice.
In these spaces, everyone feels respected and appreciated. Education isn't just about reflecting the world as it is. It's about building the world as it should be.
If you've spent any time at the front of a classroom, you know the look. A student hands in an assignment, eyes immediately scanning for the final grade at the top, completely ignoring the written feedback below it. We've built an environment where passing the test matters more than understanding the material, and it's putting immense pressure on our students. Research indicates that shifting to high-level formative assessment is the most effective way to break this cycle. It changes how students process their successes and failures, leading to direct increases in both motivation and achievement. Over the next few minutes, we are going to build a 5-step formative loop together and embed it directly into one of your upcoming lesson plans. To start, grab the materials you'll need, pull up the lesson plan you want to adjust, and find the specific grading rubric for that day's activity. By embedding this loop, you move your classroom away from a high-stakes testing ground. Instead, you create a low-stakes environment where students feel safe practicing, making mistakes, and ultimately mastering the skill. Step 1 is visualizing the target. Look at your lesson plan. Take the formal academic standard you need to teach and rewrite it into plain, student-friendly language. Next, dig into your files and pull out 2 physical examples of past student work, one stellar example and one weak example. Look at the difference here. On the left, we often hand students a dense paragraph of academic expectations and hope they decipher it. Providing clear, concrete visual models of success shows them exactly what the finish line looks like. When students have these specific examples on their desks, they can accurately map out the steps they need to take. It also gives them a reference point, so when you offer feedback later, they understand exactly why you're giving it. This level of clarity allows students to set realistic, attainable task goals for themselves, rather than burning energy trying to guess what you want. By making the target visible from minute 1, you stop students from comparing their progress to their peers. They focus entirely on meeting an absolute standard. Now let's build out the active feedback phase. For step 2, look at your lesson plan and schedule a dedicated 10-minute window during the independent seatwork portion of the class. Notice how this diagram models the learning process as a continuous loop. Instruction leads to assessment, which leads directly to feedback, looping right back into instruction. We use this 10-minute window to keep that cycle spinning with quick and quiet feedback. During this time, roam the room and look for a single aspect of a student's work to comment on. Ask a quick clarifying question or offer a specific clue about what they should do next, then move on. This table outlines formative assessment characteristics. In the feedback row, traditional low-level assessment delays feedback, while high-level assessment relies on immediate, specific feedback. But avoid the normative trap. Notice the shift to intrinsic motivation when we eliminate social comparisons. Suspend grading during this window. That brings us to step 3, avoiding the generic praise trap. To build true motivation, we have to consciously script the way we praise students. Take a moment to write 2 specific phrases on your lesson plan right now. These phrases should praise a student's moderate effort or their choice of strategy, rather than praising their innate intelligence. Here is the exact contrast you should aim for. Instead of saying something like, "You're so smart," replace it with, "The extra effort you put in really paid off," or "Look how you've improved since trying a different strategy." When you attribute success to effort rather than natural ability, students realize they are in direct control of their own learning. That realization gives them the staying power to tackle harder challenges without giving up. For step 4, we transfer the responsibility of assessment to the student. Build a mandatory 3-minute pause into the very end of your lesson plan. This is your critical window for student self-assessment. It has to happen before any work is allowed to be submitted. Write down specific self-monitoring prompts for this pause. For example, ask the student to look at their current conclusion and write down how it compares directly to the rubric you provided. The most vital part of this exercise is what happens next. You have to give students the time and autonomy to actually correct their errors based on their own reflection. Finally, step 5. Draft one last prompt asking the student to declare a single, concrete, attainable goal for their next work session. This is based entirely on their performance today. Teaching students to self-monitor and set their own immediate targets removes their reliance on your validation. It hands them true autonomy, which locks in their intrinsic motivation. Review your updated lesson plan. You now have plain language targets, scheduled windows for private feedback, effort-based praise scripts, and a dedicated self-assessment pause. With all of these elements in place, the chaotic energy of test preparation focuses into a calm, methodical process. By committing to this loop, you strip away the anxiety of normative grading. In its place, you have a high-level formative process that accurately measures progress without discouraging students. Teach this newly structured lesson tomorrow. As you implement these steps, you will watch the culture of your room shift as students realize that mistakes are just stepping stones to mastery.
Next, Chapter 7. Purpose and Goals. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.